Did I fool you? Did you think I was going on another trip? Yeah, I'm not. I just got back one. Gotta put the suitcase away. You know, husband role. It was our first time in northern Italy in the Dolomites, and it was super epic. I can't wait to show you all the photos that we took from that trip. Oh shoot, I forgot to get the garbage. Husband roll as well. Yeah, there's some junk food there. Don't judge us. Right, that's a check for all the husband duties. I think one of my favorite things about when I get back from traveling is just doing the mundane, everyday routines. This morning, you know, I was cleaning the house, doing some laundry, doing the dishes. I went and did some gardening. And now just cleaning up the luggage and suitcases, packing it all up after a trip, and just getting back into the routine of things. Let's get now inside the studio and talk about today's topic. So, speaking of traveling, I've actually been posting quite a lot of photos from my recent travels. You know, I was just all over the place in June. A little update for you guys. In June, I was in Iceland with Maddie and Matt. Then I went to Norway with my wife. Then I went to Vancouver. And then after that, I was 2 weeks in Italy. So I'm still kind of, you know, posting photos on Instagram from my previous trips. And I've been posting a lot of photos from Iceland, and I got a lot of DMs from you guys asking, you know, about locations or where should you go and how should you travel in Iceland. So it got me thinking, should I start travel guide series on my YouTube channel? So I thought today I'll try it out, and I'm gonna do my first ever travel guide series on how to travel in Iceland. The reason why I want to do this travel guide series is because I know for myself, whenever I'm traveling, I often don't know too much about a certain country or place, and I often go read different blogs or research on Instagram on different locations, but I haven't actually checked too many YouTube videos for travel guides, so I thought, hey, I should do that on my channel. So today I want to talk about some of my favorite locations in Iceland. But first things first, I want to give a little backstory to our trip to Iceland. Iceland is one of those places that photographers have been just dying for so long, and for myself, I've been flying in between Finland to Canada and doing the layover with Icelandair in Reykjavik, or is it Keflavik, I'm not sure, but I've been doing the layover in Iceland, and I've literally probably flown 10-20 times back and forth, and it's drove me nuts because I've never actually been able to get out of the airport and go and explore Iceland. Every single time I've traveled, either it was just too expensive to do the layover, or I didn't have enough time to stop there because I needed to get to my destination quickly. So I've never had been to Iceland before, and it drove me nuts because it's like you're so close, yet you're so far. You're at the airport, you can see that the mountains and the epic waterfalls are there, but you can't get there. So in June, my brother Maddie finally reached out to me and said, hey, I have this trip coming up in Iceland. Would you want to come be a part of it? You can take photos and shoot video for me. I was like, yes, of course I'm coming along. So we had this epic road trip in Iceland. We literally drove from Monday to Friday. We drove around the whole island. And if any of you have been to Iceland before, it takes time, even though it's a small island, but at the same time, it's a big island. You know, the roads, there's a lot of windy roads going through the mountain areas, and it just takes a lot longer than you would think. So first thoughts about Iceland. I love the fact that Iceland's terrain is changing constantly. You know, in one moment you can have epic waterfall, then you have this crazy mountains, glaciers, ice. Then you go to the north, all of a sudden it's more like Ireland almost, where it's like these coastal greens with the coastal cliffs. And then you just have mountains just popping up out of nowhere. It's just crazy. And that's what I really loved about Iceland. It almost felt like you're in another world, in some fantasy world. So it was really cool as a photographer to be able to shoot just landscapes that were really different and always changing and get things really exciting. Because I know for myself, you know, even when we were in Africa, you're doing the safari and you're so pumped about shooting animals in the beginning. But then by the end of the trip, you already kind of got used to it. So I think we can, as human beings, get so used to the stimulus and just what we're seeing that, you know, with Iceland, it's really cool that it's constantly changing. The things that I didn't expect about Iceland, that I wasn't maybe prepared for, was just how touristy it is. You know, there's there's a certain feeling that maybe that gets ruined when you go to a really epic waterfall and then you drive up and it's just a parking lot with tour buses everywhere, with people just running towards this waterfall, people everywhere. It kind of loses that wild feeling to it. It doesn't feel like you're in the nature. It almost feels like you're more at a theme park. So I would definitely suggest, if you want to avoid the tourist buses and the rush, go early in the morning or later in the evening. You know, especially in the summertime, it doesn't really get dark there. So go really late in the evening because no tourist buses are going to be there during that time. The second thing that was a little bit challenging and I wasn't prepared for was just how many limitations there are where you can go and where you can fly a drone, for example. So, you know, you get to an epic waterfall or epic location and right away there's this roped up fence and you can't really step outside of the fence. I mean, you could, but then you're breaking the rules, and we want to be good examples to people. So you're there, you're standing at this roped off fence and you're like, well, what's the point of taking a photo here because everybody else is taking a photo from this exact same angle? So that was frustrating. And the second thing was that you couldn't fly drones in a lot of places, which is just always frustrating if you're trying to get epic footage because there's nothing like filming with a drone. So those are maybe the two things that I was a little bit bummed about, but all in all, it was still a great trip in Iceland. If you've never been to Iceland, you definitely have to go and check it out at least one time, maybe a few times, because I feel like in one time you really can't see everything. Even in our trip, we were there for only 5 days, so we definitely didn't see everything. So this is not a full travel guide, but this is just maybe some thoughts and some tips from me to you to help you on your trip. So today I want to go over my 5 favorite locations in Iceland on our trip. The first location was the abandoned pool, and I'm going to read right now what the name was. The abandoned pool is called Seljavallalóg at the foot of the Eyjafjallajökull mountains. That was really hard. I don't think I'm ever going to learn how to speak Icelandic. Is that what it's called? I'm not sure either. Okay, anyways, the name is a long name. If you write abandoned pool on Google or somewhere, you probably will find information on how to get there. But this is a really cool place. You drive up. Not only was the drive there really epic, we actually ended up taking some really cool photos, like this photo of Maddie running down the road. But you drive down there, there's a parking lot, and then you do have to maybe walk a kilometer or something like that, not too much. And then you get to this crazy epic abandoned pool in the middle of this valley of the mountains. So you can be taking a nice thermal hot water pool dip with mountain scenes all around. I can only imagine that in the wintertime that place is a million times more epic. But after a long day of driving or hiking, there is no better feeling than jumping in a hot pool. And these hot pools are all around Iceland. You literally can find them everywhere and anywhere. I think there was one website where you can just find them on a map and go check them out. I would highly suggest bringing your swim shorts to Iceland. Yes, you would not think that you would need swim shorts there, but I would highly suggest bring your swim shorts to Iceland, because always after a long day of hiking and traveling, you are gonna want to jump into a thermal pool. My second favorite location was SKOGAFOSS. And hold on a minute, I know this place has been used a lot, it's very overdone, but still, when you get there, you will realize why it's overdone. It is just epic. And for us, it was really nice because we ended up getting there at like 10 or 11 at night when the sun was just starting to set down and there was really nobody there. So we kind of had the whole waterfall to ourselves. But when you just stand there a few meters away and you see this huge waterfall just right in front of you, it's pretty amazing. So I highly suggest that if you're in Iceland, you gotta go check out SKOGAFOSS, but just make sure you don't go there in the middle of the day when all the tourists are there, because otherwise, well, it's not gonna be so majestic and epic. Third favorite location of our trip was Stokksnes. This is a location that's 6.5 hours from Keflavik Airport towards the east, so it's on kind of like the right side of the island. And it's when you get to the end, there's all of a sudden this coastal line with this crazy mountain, black sand, and it's really nice. I think it costs about $8 to pay for the parking fee to get in there. Totally worth it, and $8 in Iceland, well, that's like peanuts for them. Usually things are literally costly there. But you pay the parking fee, you get there, you can just drive in there. There's first off this really epic road with just both sides water, mountain on the side, really amazing. Then you park there at the end and there's these black sand dunes. And then as you go down, there's the ocean there, you get the double reflection of the mountain. Really, really fun place to shoot at. And we didn't even get to see it all. Afterwards, after our trip, I was looking on Instagram and I was like, Stocksness, oh, this is a cool photo. Where's this taken from? And there's this epic photo taken from the coastal line that we didn't even know about. So it's a big area. Make sure you explore and you see it all. But we were able to get a lot of nice photos, a lot of video footage at this location. So if you're a photographer, filmmaker, Stocksness, really worth it. It's not really the place that most people go to because most people just do the quick 2.5 hour ride to the main waterfalls and some sandy beaches, and then that's it, they just leave. But Stocksness is definitely worth the drive. Get yourself out there, really epic locations. Fourth favorite location is DETTIFOSS. This is actually the largest moving body of water in all of Europe. I think that's what they explain it as. But it's crazy and it's epic. It's about a 7.5 hour drive from Keflavik around to the northern part of Iceland. Really cool area. And there's a lot of these kind of like thermal geo things with smoke coming to the ground, so it almost feels like you're in like the dinosaur age or in Mars. I don't know. It just looks out of this world. But you get to DETTIFOSS and you walk there, and there's this main tourist area, you know, with the fences and stuff, and that's cool, it's fine. It's very wet, so I'd prepare with a rain jacket. We literally, the moment you pull your camera, it's wet, so you can't film there. But if you keep walking down the pathway all the end, the metal fence stops, and it's okay. There's no signs saying you can't go off the beaten track. You can actually walk down and kind of into the canyon, and we were able to get this crazy footage with me walking along the cliff there with a canyon in the middle and the waterfalls in the background. And I think maybe the reason why I love this place was, well, we had the most epic weather in that moment. It actually started snowing on that day. Yeah, snowing in June. It was insane. I don't know how it can snow in June in Iceland. That's their summer, but it was snowing. But we were filming with the drone and me walking along this canyon, and there's just snow everywhere. And it's also where I got those epic photos of Maddie standing in front of the waterfall where you just see all this water coming down and he's just there. So it was really cool to be here because for once it was a place that wasn't just roped off, that you can't be there. And it was kind of like wherever you want to explore, whatever creative ideas you want to do, you can try there. So DETTIFOSS, really worth it. Definitely would say that if you have the chance to drive all the way around the island, you have time for that, make sure you stop at DETTIFOSS. And location number 5 was Kyrkjavik. This is on the western side of the island, so if you're going from Keflavik, it's probably like 3 hours to get there. But it's this really crazy peak mountain that just pops out of nowhere, and you have in front of it these 2-3 waterfalls. That was really cool. Again, this is one of those locations that, you know, maybe I was just fooling myself, but you're driving there, you think like, oh, we're gonna have this epic location ourselves. We get there and there's literally 30 photographers with their tripods doing long exposure shots of the waterfall and the mountain. And I don't know, for me, maybe it's the rebel in me or just the black sheep, but right away I was like, I don't wanna shoot these waterfalls. I don't wanna get the exact same shot that everyone else is getting. So I just kind of explored down to the bottom a little bit more. There wasn't as many people, and we got these really cool reflection shots of the mountain in the water. Anytime there's a little body of lake or a little bit of water in front of an epic location, I'm always gonna do the reflection shot. So that's why I really like Kyrkjavik. And not only just that mountain, but just the whole area was really cool. We got there maybe at like 9:30, so it was really golden hour moment. And we were just doing really cool drone shots in that area and just really enjoying it. So it was really nice to just see all different parts of Iceland and see just the variety of terrain there. If you haven't ever been to Iceland yet, make sure you get out there. But also make sure that you save money for it because it is quite costly when you get there, and make sure that you do it right. Don't go to these epic locations during the middle of the day. Change your whole sleeping pattern. Stay up all night, especially in the summertime if you're there when it's midnight sun, doesn't get really dark. Stay up in the night or in the morning, wake up early in the morning, sleep during the days, because there's no point to travel around during the days or to be at these epic locations when it's the middle of the day, because you're gonna get there and there's gonna be tourist buses with hundreds of people there and you're gonna hate it. So please listen to advice. Mornings, evenings, golden hour times, you're not only gonna have the best light to shoot at, but there's gonna be no people there. So make sure you do that when you're enjoying Iceland. Alright guys, this is my first travel guide. If there's any other questions you have about Iceland, make sure you comment below, or any other ideas that you'd like me to incorporate in these travel guide series. I do have the privilege of traveling quite a lot, so I'd love to share you guys my tips and tricks and kind of just wisdom to travel to these certain countries, because it always helps to have just someone else's experiences beforehand when you go there to see where you should go and how you should travel there. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also hit the notification button, because if you want to be able to watch my videos right away, you want to get that notification. Really appreciate for all your guys' support. Have a fantastic week.